Hey, howdy and happy day. President Donald Trump's having a happy day. The New York court threw out that $500 million deal. Fine, money being held, $500 million. Can you imagine? Now he gets it back. I mean, God bless America. Somebody finally come out of the ether that'll be a judge. My, how did this happen? That Letitia James, she said, I'm going to get you. She ran on that kind of a platform, and she did kind of get him $500 million. And now the government is after her for mortgage fraud and all the same things that she went after Trump for. I hope they just, because she did a bad thing. And according to her, she did a bad thing. She said, this is a law, and anybody who disobeys the law, we're going to get them. And $500 million, y'all got to pay it, cha-cha. It's unwinding kind of nicely, don't you think? Minnesota and so many other cities, which I'll get into, but talking about football, big masculine sport. You ever seen football players play? Well, I had a son who played in football, and the whole purpose was, of course, for the other guys to kill your cat, right? These big gorillas. But it's a real man sport. It's a masculine sport. Now the Minnesota Vikings, they've hired 2 male cheerleaders. 2 males. Okay, we now have men with pom-poms. I don't like that. A man with a pom-pom. I remember men were men and women were glad there were a man with a pen. Hey, come on. It's the most masculine thing in sports today, and that would be football. And they're trying to feminize it. The woke is alive and well, it would appear. But it's not just the Minnesota Vikings. The Los Angeles Rams, the Baltimore Ravens, Carolina Panthers, they had the first transgender cheerleader a couple of years ago. And boy, oh boy, woke. They're trying to drive masculinity out of sports. These people, they all need a job. They need something else to do to keep them occupied. Better yet, they need to hide in the basement, lock the door. We will lock the door, put masks on for them, practice your pronouns, and stay there until we get a vaccine for stupidism. That would be kind of good. Hey, now we have a new program. It's called Teacher Freedom Alliance. It's actually been around for a couple of years. It gives teachers in America the option to opt out of a union. And this is a good thing because unions had their place 100 years ago when 9-year-olds were in the mine. I get it. Today you need a strong association, not a union. So many unions, they take the money from their members and they go out and they get political, typically on the left, and their members are on the right. So we didn't pay union dues so you people could go out and get political. You're supposed to, political to a degree, certainly. You have to look after us, but not federally. You don't go and do that kind of nonsense, but that's what they do. So the decline in union membership across America now has been 200,000 members, I think just this year. I'm not really clear on that. It's not clear what I'm reading. We'll go with that. And they have 2,500 teachers that have become members, I also believe, within the last year. Again, unclear. In any event, the numbers are healthy. They're good numbers, and teachers are saying, we don't need this. I mean, all of this strong arm stuff, and I hope it spreads into other industries and professions as well. And angry parents react over this transgender thing in a lot of different cities. The most recent one is at a high school in Hoffman Estates in Illinois. A parade of angry parents came and said, like, what is going on? I mean, we have these transgender men. They're going, transgender girls now, but they're men dressed up as girls. It's like it's Halloween. And they're going into girls' locker rooms and they watch the girls undress. And I've had people argue with me about that. They say, what does it matter? They're identifying as a woman. They're not perverse. And I say, excuse me, they're not. They're going into the woman's place and they watch them undress. Big deal, because they're a woman too. I said, but they're not. They're biologically male. And the argument continues. And I said to them, I said, think of the people, years ago, there used to be so many weirdos that would go up and at nighttime and look into a window and watch a woman at her home undress. And they, what were they called? Peeping Toms. And what's the difference between that and a man saying he's a woman going into a locker room? There's no difference. I mean, perversion is kind of the same, whether it's on a Monday or Tuesday, right? And they argue with me and say, no, it's not the same thing. It is the same thing. I got to tell you, now racism, you got all these crazy things. You got transgenderism, all these things that are just wrong. And now we have racism. It's wrong. And this one is in Canada. I was recently out on the Sunshine Coast, and there's a sign up. Well, firstly, let me back up. There's a beautiful subdivision on the ocean, many houses in it, and it's all Indian land, and Indian people live there in all the houses. Nice people. I've seen them downtown. During that day, I was downtown and spoke to some of them, great people. But there's a sign up on their subdivision that says, Seashell Indian Man. Note that they don't call themselves indigenous. They call themselves Indians because they are Indians. They're Indians, I'm white. I mean, that's kind of the way it is. And now people are trying to change the wordage here. But in any event, back to the sign. So the Indian ban, private property, no trespassing. So also in British Columbia recently, the government gave a whole bunch of land, millions of acres of land to Indians, and they somehow or another gave title land as well to people who actually own the property. They have title, registered on title, and this is other race individuals or individuals from other races. And so I happened to see an Indian uptown, back to Seashell, and I said, I saw your sign. And he said, yeah, don't you come to our place. And I said, but you're in our place. So if I owned this mall, which I don't, if I did, I would put up a sign and say, white taxpayers only, no trespassing. How would you like that? And he got mad. He said, how dare you even think like that? That's not part of reconciliation. And I said, but I can't go on your land. Why can you come on mine? Like, come on, help me here. And I said, oh, by the way, if I did put a sign up like that, I'd be arrested. But because that's racism. But you can do it, and it's not racism. That's the problem with the country. We all need to be treated the same. And we're not. All these little groups get treated so much differently. And it's just wrong. It breaks every rule. And those are things that you teach your kids growing up. And somehow or another, these liberal adults miss that meeting because they continue to screw things up and nobody steps in and says, this is right and this is wrong. And rightly so, rightly something. Hey, be right, because left is all screwed up. Hey, see ya.